Alright, the scope work for today, or for next hour I would say, will be to nicely build the shower floor with the cement, do all the necessary sloping preparation for building the shower pan, and this is what I would like to show you in this clip. What I already did, one of the first things of course is to put shower pan liner membrane with additional little pre-sloping from the corners to the drain. So those are the first things. We have a drain that is designed to be used with a shower pan liner. There are different types of drains for different applications, so make sure if putting shower pan liner you have a correct drain. This one can be adjusted. The height can be adjusted to the thickness of the floor, so it's pretty good. Another thing that needs to be done before building the base, once we have the shower pan liner in, is to put at least the bottom roll of the boards. I already did all the preparation and waterproofing to the walls. As you can see, the reason for that, the pen liner likes to stick out in the corners when it's folded. So once we have the board, it actually pushes some pressure so we can nicely, firmly build the base to the pen liner. So there's no any gaps later in the corners or against the wall appearing. Because in those gaps, eventually small amounts of water might collect. So we want to avoid that, of course, but as you can tell, at this point I have the boards, I have waterproofing membrane combined with a fiberglass mesh tape product already put in, and the next step will be to build the base. Components needed for such project will be cement. What works very well for such application is sand topping mix from Quick Treat. It doesn't have stones inside, so we can nicely build the floor, pour the concrete, so later the surface will be very smooth and we will not have any issues tiling it. So this is a good product to use on shower base. I'm finding this one either in Home Depot or Lowe's, and yes, so this is one thing that needs to be ready. Another important thing will be, of course, a trowel that I will use to shape the cement. Will be a little bit of the stones, gravel. I will show you why we need this in a moment. We will need a marker to mark the line of the cement. We also might need a Red Bull if you're into this stuff, and electronic cigarette. Not recommended, but if you have to, you can have it ready. I have it ready. So those are components, and of course water will be needed. We're gonna have this in just a moment. Plus mixer. Here I have a heavy-duty mixer to mix cement in the buckets. So those are components that I will need to pretty much move forward correctly with the project, and I'll show you this, how it progresses in a few moments. Okay, so another important information, things to remember, will be thickness of our cement. It's of course recommended to have this pretty thick, so it's strong and will not crack later. But the way I'm usually doing, I have about 2¼ to 2½ inches of the thickness against the wall, and the slope progresses about 1/4 inch per foot. So it usually gives me about 1¾ inch or very close about to this thickness to the drain. And of course the cement will be nicely sloping to the drain, so water can easily drain. Yes, so 1¾ inch at the drain, around about 2¼ to 2½ inches all the way around the shower walls. Of course it may vary depending on the size of the pen. This one is fairly large. It's 6½ by 48 inches, so it's decent shape shower, and of course shower floor. It will require quite a bit of cement and quite a bit of work, but yes, so those are additional informations for you to remember about. Don't put just a little bit, because it will crack. It has to be enough thick to stay in a good shape for many years. Alright, so the way I am marking the thickness, because of course if we can have a mark against the wall, it will be recommended, so we know where to stop pouring our cement, because of course it might be hard to follow up this with the measuring tape. So what I'm always doing, I'm making mark on the pen liner all the way around with a marker for about the thickness of the level. The level is about 2¼ inches, so I might raise it because of the size of the pen to 2½ inches in this case, and I'm going to mark it all the way around the line, so later when putting cement I will be putting against the line. Of course keeping level will be recommended. For larger pens usually it tends that the pen actually goes slightly lower in the center of the wall, so simply to have even a slope to the drain. So what it means, if we have a 2½, it might the thickness might change to 2¼ and then return back to 2½ against the corner. So of course this distance is longer than this one, so we want to make sure that there's not really huge slope, because it doesn't look good, it doesn't really help, and it's sometimes issue when you're standing in a shower if the floor goes in too big of an angle. So I'm trying to nicely make it even all the way around. In this case the drain is slightly off-centered, simply because we're going to have the bench going wall to wall, but and the drain will be centered between this wall and the bench. But shower pen cement goes first before we build the bench. Keep that in mind. You can see that in one of my other videos where I'm showing how to build the bench. All the steps, you will find it on my YouTube account. But right now pretty much we're starting with building the floor, the shower base, not really worrying about the bench just yet. So we're going to follow up with this all the way against the wall. Okay, so I have the level against my back wall. The floor is slightly out of the level, so I'm trying to of course catch it with the level, and I'm going to mark here line of where the cement will finish. First I'm continuing this over here. Here I'm going to do it slightly in the angle, because I know that the pen will be a little bit thinner where it gets closer to the drain. I'm following up this mark all the way against the other wall, remember to leave the space between the wallboard and the cement floor. Never run the board all the way. In some cases it has to be done if we're dealing with very tiny bitty small mosaic tiles, but it's not recommended. So we pretty much leaving about an inch of the space between the shower floor and the wallboard. So I have this mark over here, and pretty much continuing this all the way around the shower base, keeping pretty much consistent thickness and all the way around. Alright, another important part will be to adjust our drain. Of course, we have to adjust it to a certain height. Like I said, usually it appears to be about an inch and 3/4, but what I do, I'm putting level against the wall, lining with the mark that I already made, the bottom lines, and checking the difference in level. This is how it the spacing over here when level is in level. Of course the floor has to slope, so I'm assuming we have about 3 feet, so about 3/4 of an inch difference will be recommended for this distance. So putting the drain out a little bit more. Okay, and I'm going to also check this with the sidewalls. Of course, we always checking the longest distance first, but later I'm gonna, of course, put the level here, and I'm checking with the side how the slopes looks right on this side here. But we have about 24 inches, which gives us about a ½ inch of the slope. In this case, everything looks good. Same situation over there. Same situation to the curb. So this way I know how thick build the base against the wall. Like I said, it's usually a little bit thinner when it gets closer to the shower drain. So the next step will be to pretty much start slowly mixing, and I'll show you how it's done as well. Okie doke, so we're ready to mix first bucket. The water, it's usually about 1 to 3 to 1 when you or 4 to 1 when you're mixing, comparing the amounts of water versus cement. I'm never checking this. Pretty much I'm just looking at the consistency of the cement. If there's too much water, I'm adding more cement. If there's not enough water, of course more water will be needed. So, but as you can see, this is how much we have in the bucket right now, and I might add a little bit more, might not. We'll see how it will go. But pretty much 60-pound bag of cement will nicely fit to a 5-gallon bucket, and this is pretty much how we usually mix it, 1 bag per gallon. With some water added to it. So this is it, but we have quite a big shower base. I'm hoping that 8 bags of the cement will be enough. In this case we will need more cement, so Peter is going to add some more cement to our mix. This one will be a little bit too liquid. We want to make sure the thickness of the cement allows us shape up the slope, because if there's too much water added, it's hard to reach the slope, because it will be continuously returning to level. plus the cement itself will be not as durable as when having less water. Okay, so first bucket is ready. I'm gonna put it in the right position. Of course, I'm always working my way out, and this way I can nicely finish it. So the first bucket of cement goes over here. I'm gonna get some more. So before starting with the shaping with the base, I'll probably have at least 3 buckets on the floor, and then I will start working on a cement, and we'll show you this as well. So moving forward, and I'll show you how it progresses. Stay tuned. Okay, so I have 3rd bucket of cement already prepared, and now I'll be slowly moving forward with shaping the floor. So of course, first thing will be to spread it all over, not higher than my mark, of course, because I already made the mark. So I'm kind of trying to build it up to the thickness. Of course, it takes time to be really good in it, so it might look easy, but if you never did that before, it might be challenging. Another thing, I'm always very careful because the trowel has a sharp edges, and of course if my cut, I will shower pen liner. So I'm always trying to be delicate when I'm getting closer to pen liner to not accidentally cut it. Just a very delicate way against the pen liner. I'm adding a little bit more where I have to add more. Finish it against the wall is usually the most challenging. We have to be very delicate. What I have those short levels to kind of check if it goes correctly, and also to make the surface flat and even. With a longer straight edge, it's of course helpful, but before I will be doing final shaping, we need more cement, so I'm gonna mix it. Peter's gonna mix it, and I will keep you updated on the progress here. So the space is always between the cement and the wallboard.